Andy Kenny was making the point today to Jerry Adams that Sinn Féin seems to be pretty confused about all this too. Last week they were saying because they're law-abiding people and they respect the law, they'd pay the water charges. This week they're saying they won't pay the water charges. Which is it?
Well, the position of Sinn Féin has been very clear on this from the start.
No, it hasn't.
Well,
go on now.
You've asked the question, and just allow me to answer it. The question is our position, and it's been absolutely clear. We want to repeal the water charges. We're opposed to the water charges. Whether people pay the water charges is up to themselves. But there's obviously a logic here that the more people who don't pay them, the government are in trouble on this, and the water charges.
Is Sinn Féin in favour of paying the water charges, or is it not?
Well, personally, I'm not paying them. Okay.
That's very interesting to know what you're personally going to do. But my question was: is Sinn Féin in favour of people paying the water charges, or is it not?
Sinn Féin is not telling people whether to pay the water charges.
So it can't make up its mind.
We can't make up people's minds for them.
You can urge people to pay the water charges, urge them not to pay the water charges. Now, which position does Sinn Féin take?
We're taking the position that is up to
well,
adults.
No, of course it's up to the people to do it.
No.
That's obvious. That's blindingly obvious. No. The question is, what is Sinn Féin's position? Does it urge people to pay the water charges, or does it urge them not to pay the water charges?
Sinn Féin's position is very clear. It's up to the public and it's up to householders.
Oh, God.
It's up to householders whether to pay.
Well, you say it's very clear, and then you say it makes absolutely.
It's up to householders themselves whether to pay the water charges or not.
We know that.
We are opposed to them.
No.
We've brought forward a budget. We've brought forward a budget, a costed budget that provides the finance to allow for the charges.
Does not.
The shortfall of 300 million to be repealed. In answer to a parliamentary question from Alan Kelly, the Minister for the Environment, he said that the amount to be realised out of water charges is just slightly over 300 million. We put that into the budget that we brought forward. So we're not just saying our position on it, we're also saying
I think it has to be over 300 million.
Well, that's the answer. That is the answer to what he brought forward. And if we just add another, that when you take into account all of the sweeteners that the government are trying to put in, we've had different lots of sweeteners announced now to be changed, but when you factor in those, you're probably talking about a figure of 150 or 160 million that we'll realise. That's the facts of it. But what the government, the only confusion here is in the ranks of the government. Because
it's not the only confusion. Brian, no. Sinn Féin position is confused as well. Yeah.
Our position is very, very clear on it.
No, it's not. No, it isn't.
Brian, the other issue, Vincent, is Irish water. Sinn Féin this week are saying you will get rid of Irish water. A couple of weeks ago in the by-election, you said you were very clearly keeping Irish water. So you are changing your mind. Now, we as a government have said, hands up here, we've made mistakes and we have to change
its present form. If we change our minds within a few seconds, you're getting rid of it. 30 seconds ago, you were getting rid of Irish water. Now you're getting rid of it in its present form.
You're deliberately distorting the Sinn Féin position. The Sinn Féin position is... Sinn Féin position... No, I've been very, very clear on this.
You keep on saying you're very, very clear, and then you become very, very unclear.
I have spoken to this many times over the last 2 years, and we've been 100% consistent on it. Irish water is there now. There is contracts there to be honoured. You can't just stand down a company just as quick as that.
So what do you say
what we would say is that we would change Irish water from the way it is now.
So get rid of Irish water a few months ago.
And what would you do? How would you fund the whole development?
We wouldn't waste the water. Wouldn't waste the money the way you were wasting it.
No, but that's hold on. I will admit the government made mistakes here, and we're going to try and correct them. That's grand. But listen, I want to ask the question, because I've listened to yourself and many others saying that you will get rid of all this. How do you plan to fix the problems in the water services? What way are you going to do it? Because I think people need to know what's the choices out there. Because we're saying that we have to... The idea of Irish water, which I believe is the right concept, badly explained, made mistakes, we have to get all that fixed. But the concept and principle, in my view, is right? Because we want to fix the water services. It'll take a couple of years to do that. In the long run, I believe Irish water will bring savings to this country. I do believe that. But we made mistakes, Vincent, not denying that whatsoever.
You asked him a question and now you've confused it.
Right, okay.
Why don't you ask him the question again and then stop?
Right.
Ask him the question again.
What would you do?
That's all you need to do.
Okay.
Well, the first thing we would do is that the money that you're wasting on the corporate structure, and that's where a lot of the money is going. There's 180 million gone into it already, establishing the corporate structure. That would not be used for that purpose. The 530... Well, don't answer the question for me. The 539 million that you're taking from the National Pension Reserve Fund and using to put meters outside people's houses and not fix 1 yard of piping with, that we would use that to fix leaks instead of using it for that. The expensive structure that you've set up, along with the 70 million grant last year as well for the establishment of it, we would use that to fix leaks. If you're going to use taxpayers' money, use it to fix leaks in the system. What you're proposing to do...
And would you have a fixed charge? Would you have a fixed charge?
Absolutely
because
not. What you're proposing...
Would you have a fixed charge?
No, what you're proposing to do is pump more water into the system.
Would you have a fixed charge?
No, absolutely not.
No charge?
No, commercial water rates.
No charge. Higher tax.
No charge.
You're going to put tax up?
We put forward a budget proposals.
With higher taxes?
We would not have reduced the high rate of tax. We would not have done that. You reduced the high rate of tax. Our budget proposal didn't propose that. We felt that it was more important to take the low-paid workers...
You were bringing in more taxes, though, to pay...
No, fair taxes. Our proposal was to bring the low-paid workers out of the tax net by taking all those below the minimum wage out of the tax net.
Sinn Féin make up its mind about this and be crystal clear, as you've said about it.
Sinn Féin have made up their mind about it. And what I would say is this about the whole project of Irish Water. The government are confused. They're scrambling about, looking for a means to get the public to swallow a very bitter pill. The public, a large section of the public, are not showing any signs of wanting to do that.
I'm sorry, we've abbreviated the programme tonight, so we've got to go to tomorrow morning's newspapers. So Damien, Brian and Catherine, thank you for joining us. We go to the front page.